Good morning, this is Mrs. Coleman, and today we're going to do a lesson over power of a power. Just to review some of the things that you've already done, you've already went over product of power, and basically what I wanted you to take away was the very simple rule that when the bases are the same, you're going to add the exponent. So here are a couple of quick examples. So for x to the 4th times x to the 6th, because they have the same base as x, we can add those exponents together, and 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. For the one below, x to the 4th times x to the negative 6, we get x to the negative 2nd. And some of you went a step further with that, and yes, in fact, we do not have negative exponents, but I didn't want you to worry about it at this time. But if you did take that a step further, we would write that as 1 over x squared. And again, you did not have to worry about that at this time. Our last lesson was over quotient of a power. And for that, very simply put, you're going to subtract those exponents. Some of you switched the order and did some different things like that, so I was a little concerned there. We want to start with our first term and its exponent minus the second exponent. So in this case, 7 minus 4, which would be x to the 3rd. And then for this one, we have 6 minus 8, which again is a negative exponent. And some of you did take it a step further, but you didn't have to worry about it at this time. So we'll do a separate lesson about those negative exponents. So if you don't quite understand what I'm doing there, then don't worry about it. Today's lesson, what we're going to look at is what is called a power of a power. And so when we look at those exponents, we are going to be multiplying them today, and that's all I want you to do is just multiply those exponents. So for this example, we have x to the 4th to the 6th power. That means, let me show you what that means real quick. That means we have 6 groups of this that are being multiplied together. So if I were to write that out, it would look something like this. Okay, and I just want to double check and make sure I have 6 groups of them, which I do. So then we can apply the rule at the top where the bases are the same and I can add all of those exponents together. So if I add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, I get 24. So the shortcut to that is just to go back here and just multiply those together. Okay, so let's apply the shortcut here. We have x to the negative 3rd to the 7th. I'm going to make that x to the negative 21st. And again, don't worry about those negative exponents today. We'll talk about what to do with those on a different day. Attached to the lesson is the same table that that we've been looking at. I've been attaching it to each lesson that goes along with this. So also too, which will be attached are the examples. So if you follow what I do on this page, it's going to look very much like your assignment. So as I take a look at my first one, I have negative 1/3, that's my base, to the negative 2 power to the 5th power. So I'm going to keep that same base. Nothing changes in terms of a sign there, so it's still negative 1/3. And I'm going to multiply negative 2 and 5 to get negative 10. And that's it. That's all I want you to do with that. The next one, the base is 8. And we need to multiply 3 and 16 together. So that's a little bit bigger, but we do get 48. And again, that's all I want you to do. For number 3, we have a base of negative 2.3. And we're going to multiply those exponents. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. For number 4, keep that base of 5. We're going to multiply 12 and negative 3 to get negative 36. For number 5, we've got negative 4 as our base. Multiply negative 5 and negative 4, and we get positive 20. And number 6 in this first group, we've got 5 over 4. We're going to multiply 4 and 13. 4 and 13, and we get 52. For the next group, we're trying to figure out what x is. So for number 1, x is represented as an exponent. And so we said, well, we're going to have to multiply those exponents together. All right, so I need to figure out what number times -4 is equal to -36. So I'm going to divide -36 by -4 to get an answer of +9. +9. Same on number 2. X is represented as an exponent, so I have 5 times some number is equal to -20. So I'm going to divide by 5, and x is going to equal -4. Same thing on number 3 in this group. We have x times 13. Some number times 13 equals 65. And we're going to divide by 13. So x is equal to 5. Okay, number 4 is a little different because x is representing the base. So when that happens, notice that 6 times 7 equals 42. So those exponents all work out okay. So in order for that to happen, I have to keep the same base. So the answer to that one is 7.9. Number 5, some number times -9 equals, oh, this one tricked me. This is a 1, and so we haven't talked about it yet, but an exponent of 0 will always give you an answer of 1. So I haven't gotten into that yet, but if you have any more of those on there, I'll make note of that. So for this one, it's just one of those special rules, and it is on your laws of exponents paper, which is the very, very last rule. So for this one, we're just going to say x is 0. And again, we'll practice more of those at a later time. All right, and number 6, we've got 8 times some number is equal to -16. Be really, really, really careful on this one. And some of you've kind of struggled with this on some of the other papers. I get it down to a -x equals -2, but x is not quite by itself yet. So I have -2 divided by -1, and that's equal to +2. So this is equal to +2. Okay, and which of the following equals -15 to the -3rd to the -4th power? Multiply these exponents together, and we're going to get a +12. So I'm looking for an answer that has -15 to the 12th power. So my first choice, nope, doesn't match. Doesn't match. Doesn't match. There it is right there. Number 4, Roman numeral 4. And then my last example, I've got x times -8 equals +32. So some number times -8 equals 32. I'm going to divide by -8, and x is going to equal -4. So we'll mark it here. Okay. So for your assignment, you're going to have 2 pages, very much like what you saw here, kind of in the same series of things we've been doing. All right, and I'll make sure I point out if there's any of those special case zeros. Okay. All right, so this assignment goes out on Tuesday, the 14th of April, and it will be due Wednesday the 15th at midnight. So if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to get a hold of me. We can video chat or just talk or just email back and forth, whichever you prefer. So have a wonderful day.